We are approaching the last Nintendo generation. Okay, what do I actually mean by that? Is the next Nintendo console going to be the last thing they ever make? Probably not. Is a magnitude 12 meteor going to hit Nintendo HQ on February 21st, 2027 at 4:32 PM, obliterating everything in a 5-block radius? Statistically speaking, maybe not? So what do I mean when I say that we're headed towards the last Nintendo generation? Well, what I'm talking about here is the passage of time, of which is inevitable and we're all going to meet the same fate in the end. It's the only inescapable truth of the universe, next to pizza being the best food ever created. Naturally, Nintendo's an old company, created a long time ago. September 23rd, 1889 to be exact. You know what was the hot new release of 1889? The goddamn Eiffel Tower. They've been around for a while, but I'm not talking about the company's age itself. I'm referring to the age of the people who've built modern-day Nintendo to what it is today. The creators of the franchises that we've come to love, who've nurtured and guided the production of all of these iconic Nintendo games that have been cemented into gaming legends. The next Nintendo console hasn't been announced yet, so for the sake of the video, we'll be calling it the Switch 2. The Switch 2 will most likely witness the retirement of Shigeru Miyamoto, Eiji Aonuma, Takashi Tezuka, Koji Kondo, Tadashi Sugiyama, Yoshio Sakamoto, and other Nintendo veterans. I hope I didn't mess up those names too badly, I am sorry.
Tadashi Sugiyama.
If you've been a Nintendo fan prior to the Switch era, you'll remember how quirky and weird Nintendo Directs used to be, or Iwata's blue ocean approach to hardware design. The cringiness of the Wii era happening simultaneously as the release of some of the best games ever conceived by human hands. Go even further back, you'll see the mistakes and the achievements of every generation. The creation of the analog stick, the insistence of using cartridges and proprietary discs when everyone else had moved on to CDs, the revolutionary marketing of the NES, saving the console industry from a complete crash. All of these moments, all of these games and ideas and creative displays, spearheaded by these people. And now, we've come to see the culmination of their work. The Switch already feels different than everything that came before it. It's Nintendo's most successful console. It'll no doubt surpass the DS soon enough. It has games that revolutionized once stagnant series in multiple genres. In a way, it really does feel like the best Nintendo has ever put out. But I can't stop myself from looking at the changes that happened to Nintendo in the past 10 years and feeling slightly off about the direction the company has taken. After Iwata's unfortunate passing in 2015, Nintendo has felt more and more corporate as the years have passed. Not to say they weren't before, they are a company after all, but their public image, their representatives, how they presented themselves in general, it was charismatic, it was creative, it was Nintendo. And I've been watching that old Nintendo slip away behind the curtains, replaced by an optimized, corporatized, faceless Nintendo. But the light would sometimes still shine through. And throughout the Nintendo Switch generation, there were many moments of old Nintendo. Moments of silliness and creativity. And despite their CEOs, once public figures, now suit and tie executives we barely ever get to see or hear from, that aura, those core Nintendo values that people like me fell in love with as a kid. They were all still there because behind the scenes it's been the same teams we're used to. Super Mario Bros. On the NES was made by 5 people. Those 5 people are not only still at Nintendo, but are credited in the development of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Koji Kondo, still the sound director. Tezuka, still the producer. Miyamoto, while he's probably the closest one to retirement and has stated that he's now mostly hands-off from development of games at Nintendo, was still credited as the project supervisor. So, as we approach the release of the next console, I can't shake this feeling that we might be entering the last Nintendo generation. The last old Nintendo generation. Miyamoto has stated that the process of handing off game development is going smoothly. New talent needs to be able to shine, and I have no doubts that these guys are doing everything in their power to make sure their successors exceed expectations. I mean, have you seen Japanese work culture? It's crazy. So I'm not worried that games will start sucking or anything. I do believe they will still be great, and that the Switch 2 has everything set up for it to be another major success. However, another part of me does worry about the charisma. Those details that Nintendo used to cherish, now not so much. The presentations they used to make unique and enjoyable, now Nintendo Directs that all look the same. They're better for showing off games, they serve their purpose perfectly fine, it's just... where's the funny? No more funny. Oh, okay. But there's no use on clinging on to things just for the sake of it. If Nintendo's strategy pays off where it matters, and the Switch 2 is a huge success even without old Nintendo charm, then we just have to accept that this new Nintendo is here to stay. And it is a monolith of gaming, bigger than it ever was. Making billion-dollar movies now, can you believe that? It will no doubt be a tough transition, both internally within the company and externally to longtime fans. But you never know what's going to happen until it does. Maybe Furukawa is sitting in his chair right now going, okay everyone, we're going to make this eShop have the best music ever, and the Switch 2 will be fully customizable with themes and quirky little Easter eggs, and people are going to use the system sounds as background music for YouTube video essays on the fall of toasted bread. Yeah, we're doing it. We won't know for sure until it happens. The only thing we do know for certain is time is ticking for old Nintendo. And there is no escaping time. Thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, goodbye!